Alright guys, I was not going to do a video today because I have like this little pimple right here. So, but I decided, yeah, go ahead and do it. So, I am just going to talk about post-abortive care. We have a lot of women who, like on my Instagram, who don't want to admit that abortion is murder. I'm trying to get a good angle here. Okay, so abortion is murder. I've had women tell me, let me get comfortable. I should have did this first. Tell me that it's not murder. They are happy with their abortion. They have no regrets. They want to justify it and say it's just an embryo or cells or something. And, they talk about their rights to have an abortion, but the baby has a right. The baby has its own DNA, and that baby has a right to live. So, let me see. I got an email from Students for Life, and I can probably even show the email if I had to. I even have one from Focus on the Family. We are seeing a lot of suicide right now. Focus on the Family's talking about the suicide rate for Gen Z is very, very high. I do think a lot of it is because of abortion. We see Students for Life talking about as soon as students hit college campus, boom, Planned Parenthood pounces on them. They give away free bags of condoms, and they even have buy one, get one free on the abortion pill. I mean, how sick is this? So we are really in a huge spiritual battle, huge for life. I don't know what the problem is. I know people are judgmental if they see women with a few kids in tow and like pregnant again, maybe 8 kids. They can feel like, what? She's having another one? Back in my day, families had a huge amount of kids, and it wasn't shameful. There was nothing wrong with it. So I just want to say that if you're dealing with abortion, if you've had one, I would definitely get the care that's needed. It's so helpful. One thing I'm working on is a timeline of before the abortion, after the abortion. And when you have a lot of memories blocked that you just can't remember, no matter how hard you try, you just can't remember stuff. One of the biggest ways to get through that is to confess known sin to God, any known sin. So you don't want anything to get between you and God. You want to close the door. You want to make sure you are walking closely with God. Any thoughts, like just from like the bathroom to the bedroom, any thoughts like that are wrong, or we as women tend to overthink things, and we can be like, well, why did this person do this? Because they meant this, and then they did this because of this, and we can really overthink things. So we want to grab those thoughts captive and just really have a close walk with God. I have had a very close walk with God for many years now. Intimacy is there. But when I say that, there are some areas that intimacy is a little bit harder there. So for example, I was going to God with some sin in my life. And I'm like, not current sin, but past sin, before I was even a Christian. So long time ago. Just, I kind of had like, not swept it under the rug, but when I became a Christian, God forgives us for everything, okay? But then when I became a Christian, I was like, yeah, God, I'm sorry for that too. Okay, fine. I said sorry. I know I'm forgiven, all set. Well, when you want to specifically ask God to forgive you for certain sins that are around your abortion, like let's say that, I don't know, some women have been molested. So even though they were molested, it's not their fault that happened. There may be an acting out, or, choosing sin before or after the abortion. And you just want to confess that. And as you do, God is going to open your eyes. It says in John, he who confesses his sin God will forgive and he cleanses us. So as you confess that, grieve your sin before God, cry before him. Sometimes some sin hits us harder than others. Maybe it didn't bother you at the time. Usually it doesn't. But when you really see some of the sin, how offensive it is to God, how despicable it is, it's like, wow, what was I thinking? So you want to confess that to God, and as you do, and he just, he's not shaming you, he just kind of helps you see something, then you ask God to forgive you, and he will. And he also cleanses you so that you don't want to do that ever again. So that is one takeaway I would say for girls who have had any kind of trauma or sin in their life. Before you're a Christian, you obviously, if you're not even a Christian, you're not going to know some stuff. Some stuff you will know, but you're not going to have the power to want to obey that area in your life. So just it's one of the biggest things you can do. And then getting a lot of self-care, getting in a group with other women who have, for a million reasons, had an abortion. I think these are some of the most courageous women in the world, are women who have to look at their situation, they have to look at their part in this, and they have to say, where do I take responsibility? And some, I do believe there's forced abortion. So for some women, I don't believe that they have the same, I don't believe they had the same choices, or they didn't have the same privilege as other women who had a different background. So I don't think there's the same amount of responsibility, I guess, or sometimes even knowing some things. But we're not to judge one another. God is the judge, and he's the one that we're all going to stand before. And so just if you're not saved, just get right with God. God sent his son, John 3:16. I always quote this verse. For God so loved the world that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I think I missed a part. Yeah, for God so loved us that he sent his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So just get right with God. Realize you're a sinner. I'm a sinner. We're all sinners. No one's going to make it out of this world alive unless you are a believer. And it's a free gift. Nothing you can do to earn it. So eventually, as we walk with God, we want to do a lot of good works because we are thankful to God. So just, just take that to God and know that it's not the unforgivable sin, although women can feel it is, and give it to God and let him just cleanse you and forgive you from that.